Our first lesson this week is about trapezoids. So trapezoids are they are a quadrilateral, which is just a four-sided shape, but they only have one pair of parallel lines. So something like where you have these two are parallel, which means they have the same slope, they run the same direction, and then non-parallel sides. That's a trapezoid. And there is perimeter is the exact same thing. Perimeter, you just add up all the outside. Now there is an equation in your textbook, P equals A plus B plus C plus D, where A, B, C, and D are all the four sides. That's too much to remember. There's no need to remember that because perimeter, you just add all the sides. Area, there is an equation that I will give you to write this down. It is in your textbook, but I want to kind of explain it as we look at it, okay? So the equation is, it's a capital A, that typically means area, and then we're going to do 1/2. Now don't freak out because 1/2 really just means to divide it by 2. And then this looks really weird. B1 plus B2 times H. So 1/2, B1 and B2 are the bases, okay? So you're going to have B1 and you're going to have B2. Those are going to be the parallel sides. The non-parallel sides don't matter for the equation. You need the parallel sides, B1 and B2. And then H is the height. And what you have to remember at the height is it must be given to you at a right angle. So there would be a dotted line with that little box, and that would be the H. Sometimes it does it this way, with a right angle here and an H there. Okay, so we're going to use this several times and work through a couple of these. So here's our perimeter. Nope, that's not the right word. Here's our problem. We're going to be told to find the perimeter and the area. I'm not going to be doing any examples out of your textbook. We're not going to be working problems for this lesson out of your textbook because it jumps into instantly using like 2 square root of 3's. And then like plus 7 square root of 3, and square root of 3 has no answer, and it's just way more confusing. We will get there, but we're not starting there. So I'm going to make up several of these as we go, so you don't even need to worry about your textbook. If you're going to find the perimeter and the area, I always start with my perimeter because I think it's the easiest. Perimeter is easy. Just add the outside edges. The number one mistake that students make in perimeter is they add every number they see. This 2 right here is not on the outside. That is an inside number. We don't need that for perimeter. For perimeter, we add all the outside edges. So we're going to add 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 6. And I'm going to do it on my calculator because my brain hurts. 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 6 is 16. Now, if it's perimeter, let's say these are all inches. It's going to be 16 inches. Because it's perimeter, those are straight measurements, not two-dimensional, so it's just inches plain. Area looks trickier, okay? This looks scary because there's a lot of strange things in there, but it's really, I promise, it's not that scary. 1/2 is obviously just 1/2, but another way to think of 1/2 is taking your answer and dividing it by 2. That's fine. Base 1, remember the bases are your parallel sides, so this is going to be base 1, this is going to be base 2, and honestly, because we're adding, it doesn't matter which order you use that in. 6 plus 4 is the exact same thing as 4 plus 6. My height, remember, has to come at a right angle. Well, here's my right angle sign. That's not a 7, it's a right angle, which means this is my height. For area, I don't even need those 3's, okay? So I'm going to just plug my values in. Area equals 1/2. Base 1, we're going to use as 6. Base 2, we're going to use 4 times height, which is 2. And now we can use order of operations to solve them, or you guys have your calculator, so you can just plug it in. I'm going to work it out so you can see what we're doing. 2 times 10. Why did I put a plus there? Sorry. Hold on. Let me fix this. 1/2. The parentheses become 6. And now I'm going to just multiply and divide together from left to right. 1/2 times 10 is just 10 divided by 2, which is 5. If you have a half there, you can just put it as a decimal. That's fine for right now. That becomes 5 times 2, which is 10. Right, and even if I type that in my calculator, I do 1 fraction key 2 to get my 1/2, parentheses 6 plus 4, parentheses 2, and it spits out the answer. Because it is the area that is two-dimensional, sorry, I was writing, so it's inches squared. All right, so that's all there is to it. For perimeter, add the outside edges. For area, just plug everything into that equation. Let's do one more. Now let's look at this one I just made up, okay? Perimeter, first of all, is going to be just the outside edges. Now don't get confused on this, because technically this 30 is written outside. But let's think logically for a minute. What is that 30 representing? It's on a dotted line, first of all, which means it's not really connected to the shape. And there's my right angle. So this 30 has nothing to do with the edges of the trapezoid. It's our height, okay? Now, height is normally up and down, but this trapezoid is drawn on its side because my parallel lines are my left and my right instead of my bottom and my top. So my height is going to go left to right this time because it's just laid on its side. For perimeter, we still add the outside edges of the shape. So I'm going to have 15 plus 35 plus 10 plus 35. 15 plus 35 plus 10 plus 35 is 95. And because it's perimeter, let's call it inches again, it's just going to be inches plain. Area, we just plug in our stuff. First of all, we've already found our height because it's at the right angle. Bases, it doesn't matter which is which, but they do have to be the parallel sides. So pay attention because 35 are not my bases. Those are my non-parallel sides. Your bases have to be at the parallels, okay? So area equals 1/2. Base 1, I'm going to use 15. Base 2, I'm going to use 10. And my height is given to me at the right angle, so it's 30. And then I'm going to just start working through this. 15 plus 10 is 25 times 30. And I'm going to just type this in my calculator. 1/2 times 25 times 30. I typed in 3. And that's going to give me 375. And if it's inches, because it's area, two-dimensional, it's squared. All right, so what you need to pay attention to is what direction your trapezoid is drawn. Remember, your bases are the parallel sides, and then your height is going to go from base to base. All right, and that's really it for this lesson. I'm probably not going to do another one. I'm not going to do another equation example. I think this is pretty clear. Write that equation down. 1/2, base 1, base 2, and your height. Plug it in and just use your calculator and solve it, or work it by hand. Remember for your perimeter to only use the outside edges of the trapezoid. So here's what you need for homework. There's your equations. Area equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. Your perimeter is all of your outside edges. You guys were given a worksheet in our face-to-face meetup, so that is your homework. And if you have any questions, let me know.